This is Eve Christoph, your Love Life Coach. This is Eve's Eden Show, and today I want to help you couples with the sexual chakra. Okay, I'm just moving through the energetic centers of the body. We started with the root chakra, which is right at the base of the spine, moving on up to the genital area. And actually, the thing about the sexual chakra for women is it's really very much integrated with the root chakra. The issues of the root chakra and the sexual chakra have to be treated sort of as one, because the man penetrates and enters her through her root chakra right into her sexual chakra, and he's in both at the same time. So this stimulates all those issues for women having to do with earth and fire. So fire being fun and pleasure and sensuality and joy, and earth being, how about your grounding, your feeling of safety, your feeling of security. So rather than saying that the root chakra is so much about money, or I would say the root chakra it's actually totally integrated with how you feel in the world and how you feel supported by community in your relationship. This is why women want to get married. It's not really that they need the ceremonies, they need the support and recognition of their community around them for grounding and empowerment, and a feeling of being held in the network of life with love and concern and support. So now say you have that, you have the feeling with your partner that there is such a commitment there. You've come out to your community with Facebook, some parties together, whatever ways that you've done it, and you feel like your partner's really with you. Now you're in the sexual chakra, you're moving on up. And the sexual chakra, okay, so we got like creativity now. Birth, right? Birth is the primal creation, and not everybody's going to have kids or needs to, but the feminine needs to give birth. She needs you to join with her in creativity. So some of that creativity, a lot of it can be how much pleasure are you going to share with her in the sexual chakra. Now think about this. There are at least 10 different kinds of orgasm that women experience. So say you start, how about the orgasm of the kiss? There's that orgasm. Then how about, we know about the clitoral orgasm, we know about nipple orgasm. How about the G-spot orgasm, the deep spot orgasm? How about the anal orgasm? And then there's the full body orgasm, there's womb orgasm, there's a heart orgasm, orgasm of the spirit, orgasm of all of these rolling back and forth in between ecstatically. I heard a woman talking about this experience at a red tent. She was talking about rolling into 30 different orgasms that just kept going and changing. And then there's the squirting orgasm, right? So, and by the way, some people say, oh, that's just a pee orgasm. Well, there's a book called Female Anatomy of Arousal by Sherry Winston. It's absolutely an essential read, and it shows you the anatomy that we have never been taught in school about where the squirting orgasm comes from and where those fluids, what they're really about, and how it happens that a woman turns into a gushing waterfall. So, all right. Now, since most people don't even get to experience, sometimes not even a clitoral orgasm, we don't even know what we're missing. Americans are so busy working. Honk, honk. Come on, let's start honking our horns here. We can have more sensual bliss. We can, and we work so much. We don't put enough value onto pleasure, and all that money we earn, we don't even know what to do with the money. What we really need is not to work, not to be earning money, just to be living and being and experiencing what our human capacity is is capable of by doing nothing but hanging out together and sensually dancing and exploring. So here we are, we're in the sexual chakra, right? And certain issues come up. One of the things that I want you to think about is, okay, the thing about babies and birth. We need to be so much more creative about this. There's a movie I just saw called Light into Oceans, and it's in this movie two women are sort of fighting over this child that they both want to raise, and nowhere in the movie did they just come up with the solution of the two women raising the child together and just joining in complete luscious giving to the child and joining with the man in the story to be epically abundant. We need to be epically abundant right now on the planet with our joy, our pleasure, and the love that we shower on all of the motherless, fatherless children. There's another movie, The Kids Are All Right. It's a great movie, and this man, he was a sperm donor, and he gets to meet the kids that come from his sperm, and he wants to interlope and like sort of have that family. Once again, the movie falls short because our imaginations are so limited when it comes to bliss. The bliss would have been that he goes back to his African-American girlfriend, who's the hottest woman on the whole planet, and he goes, let's make our family together, because he realizes that he has given up the most amazing life he could ever have. But we don't have an imagination that works like this. Our imagination is puritanical, and we tend to think it's either or, all or nothing. I give all and take all, or nothing. And that is not fun, actually. That's not the energy of the sexual chakra. Okay, the sexual chakra is fun. It's playful. So anything that gets too heavy, too ownershipy, too controlling, then you're not in the sexual chakra anymore. You're in the power chakra. All right, you're in a power struggle. So let's stay here. Let's stay in the bliss of the sexuality that is our challenge, to create a whole new way to be in this. So if you imagine all of those different levels of orgasm, and you think of all the ways that we have missed out because we weren't putting enough time in. If you're putting time in every day to exploring sexually with your lover, you're going to discover these different orgasms on your own for the woman, and there's all of these multi-levels of orgasm possible for men. There really, really are. And it's not just this one way of experiencing ejaculation as an orgasm. There's ways that the men can have this rolling orgasm flowing through the spine and through the heart. And also the absolute bliss for him when he creates the experience of her complete surrender into ecstatic, orgasmic experience because of him, right? Well, so now, one more thing to think about for the sexual chakra is, contrary to the way I was thinking about it before I spoke with some of my wise and brilliant sisters, is I always thought about money as being a root chakra thing. But really, because if you think of how money is the exchange of energy, right? Money is about the pleasure and the abundance that you can or can't have. Money is about the creativity of how you got that money, that's birth energy, and the public persona of how you were received in the world. That is all root chakra moving into birth chakra, creative, expressive exchange. So money, finances, we need to handle them in a way that's really fun, okay, really abundant and really considerate. So you've got to actually understand how women now, it's just not it's not balanced on the planet yet. And I know I've spoken to a number of men who's just like, oh, my girlfriend's richer than me, so I want her to treat when we go to dinner. The trouble is, if you try to go tit for tat on money and you try to keep it all squared away all the time, you're going to miss out on the archetypal power, the desire of the masculine to provide for the woman, and the woman's desire to be held in masculine protection, provided for and sustained by the masculine for her ecstatic outpouring of energy. And truthfully, around the world, it's pretty understood that there are hundreds of ways that women give that are invisible, that are emotional, that are spiritual, where women hold the container of the whole relationship. They deal with all of these problems that come up and that have to be solved in communication and socially. So she's holding all of this. So the way the masculine can give back to the feminine's invisible way of holding way too much most of the time is that the man actually gives more financially. Now, if the man can't, there's other ways to be a provider and a sustainer of the home through cooking or cleaning, but basically, if you can take her out and pay for dinner, even if she can afford it, you are putting her in the energetic frame of mind of feeling provided for. If you can be aware that she's got children, these days most women you date, they have children that are still at home, excuse me, part-time, and that's a huge expense. That's a huge amount of energy going out all the time. So if you can be a little bit of a co-parent with her in that you're saying, hey, what do the kids need this month? What do you need to give you a break? Or be aware. I have had one friend say to me, there's two kinds of people on the planet, those who are parents and those who are not. And the ones who are not parents don't actually know what it is to be human yet, because they don't know how to sacrifice. They don't know what it takes. And I think goes a little far, because we know that without having children, we learn, we have our initiations no matter what. But if you do have children, or you don't, you see that whether you do or you don't, it's a huge undertaking. So if she's got that going on, you need to compensate. You need to give a little bit more financially if you're the guy. And do this archetypal thing of actually being the provider in as many ways that you can. I don't suggest living together myself, because I think that takes away a lot of the mystery and autonomy and independence that make people feel free and empowered. But say you're living separately and you, as a man, were contributing to her monthly bills. Rock it, man. You're aware that for women, we earn less usually. We also hold the family with tons of emotional energy we put out. We have children we're taking care of. We have desires to be beautiful, and we can't afford it. We want to do that for the man, and we can't even take care of ourselves because we're taking care of so many people. So by you being aware of that for her, taking some of the burden off. I was in a relationship where it was a long distance relationship, and they were flying me back and forth from Miami. It's the funnest thing in the world, except for the fact that he did not have an understanding that I had a child, and every time I went, I was losing work, and I kept trying to find work when I visited him. It was crazy. But if he had had just the smallest awareness to say, okay, I'm contributing, like every time you come here, I got to contribute $300 because otherwise you're going to tank, which is what I did. I tanked. I lost everything after, a couple of years of just always losing my income when I went to see him. Even though he was paying for the vacation, he needed to be aware of the facts of my survival with my daughter, because actually I was on his terms, on his turf. He could keep his work going. He could keep his schedule going, his career never got altered at all for me. Mine was completely disrupted to be there in his world on his terms. So women will do this. Women will sacrifice themselves for relationship. They will move their lives, change their names. And if you're going to allow her or to do this for you, you got to compensate. You got to make her safe. So this is the thing. This is how this creative money thing comes into the earth chakra. If you're making her safe, there's the archetypal masculine. You're thinking of her long term. So another way you can do it is you can help her with her career in some way. You can make her stronger. You can make her a Facebook page. You can help her with her business cards. You can join with her on some parties she's giving and co-host with her. Give her energy for her career. Okay, don't expect it to go the other way. You as a man have so much more support than you even know. You have so many hundreds of more ways that